The U.S. is expecting its military campaign in Iran to end within a matter of weeks. President Donald Trump says more than 3,000 targets remain in Iran, which he claims could be done pretty quickly. His top diplomat, Marco Rubio, says military operations are ahead of schedule and remain on track to meet objectives without deploying ground forces. Mr. Trump reiterated his claim that the U.S. is, quote, decimating Iran, highlighting that it was done without NATO's support. Mr. Trump also renewed his complaints about defense spending, suggesting he might scale back funding support for NATO. His remarks over U.S. commitment to the mutual defense provisions at the core of the alliance. European allies say they were not consulted by the U.S. on its surprise attack on Iran, with many NATO leaders opposed to the war. Meanwhile, Mr. Rubio has voiced alarm that Iran would establish a tolling system over the Strait of Hormuz during a G7 foreign ministers meeting in France. William Denselow, covering the story for CNA, has the details.
In a statement from the G7 foreign ministers, they called for an immediate halt to attacks on civilians and for infrastructure stock to be targeted, as well as to see a cease on strikes in the region around Iran. They also called for more support when it comes to efforts to mitigate the energy shocks caused by this conflict. And there'll be more meetings next week to discuss what levers the G7 can pull to help mitigate this impact. Also, very much related to that, G7 also called for the need of freedom of navigation through the Strait of Hormuz, that absolutely crucial waterway, so important for the flow of LNG, liquefied natural gas, as well as oil for the global market. Now, to that end, heading into Friday's talks, plenty of speculation as to whether the US would use this as an opportunity to pressure G7 allies to do more when it comes to their contributions in this war, as well as to help free up, to open up the Strait of Hormuz. We have, though, heard from Marco Rubio saying that he didn't need any ships from G7 partners at this point, but wants them to play a post-war role. To that end, we've heard from Germany's foreign minister saying that they are prepared to do so when the hostilities end. A similar tone also from France's foreign minister, who said that they share US objectives when it comes to destroying Iran's ballistic missile program, and also saying that the objective to see a free and open Strait of Hormuz is also very much aligned with the views of Washington.
Il passera nécessairement d'une manière ou d'une autre une fois le calme revenu, ou une fois que les objectifs militaires des États-Unis auront été atteints, ou une fois que le pic des hostilités aura été dépassé, passera nécessairement par un système d'escorte. Un système d'escorte qui permettra d'apporter la sécurité nécessaire pour que la circulation des navires puisse reprendre au plus vite.
At this meeting in France, there have been warnings from several G7 allies, a warning that Russia was sending intelligence to Iran to use that to target US forces. We've heard that from the likes of the UK's Foreign Secretary, as well as from Kaja Kallas, the EU's top diplomat. Responding to those claims, we've heard from Marco Rubio, the US Secretary of State. He said that Russia is not impeding their operations in Iran. Now, what we are hearing from the likes of Kaja Kallas is very much saying that Russia's role is interwoven with the war in Ukraine. There have been calls by the likes of Kaja Kallas for the US to do more to pressure Moscow. They say that the rationale is very simple. More pressure on Moscow will not only help US operations in Iran, but will also be greatly beneficial for Kyiv at a time where there are huge concerns that Moscow is benefiting from these rising energy costs, essentially putting more money into the Kremlin's coffers. For CNA, I'm William Denselow in Brussels.